ready. Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live.
Way to go, baby!
From Dallas, Texas.
No puppies, I need a dog to make a play.
Presented by the law firm of Vincent Gotti Cyrus.
It's time for football.
It's Paco's Locker Room Talk.
What a day, what a day, what a day.
What a day, what a day, what a day. MD, glad to have you here.
Glad to be here, man.
Man, it's been a long time since I've seen you. Wait, has it been that long since I've seen you?
The last time I remember, it was a boxing match downtown.
Okay.
So it was.
That was in
2
summer.
years.
Yeah, 2 years ago in the summer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, been that long, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, man, we have got to let everyone know our story. I mean, Mike Downs, me and you go way, way, way back.
Right.
I'm talking about you were the first one to bring me to work with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is when I worked for Athletic Supply over on Mockingbird.
Right.
And you used to come in and first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into how we met.
Okay. About myself and.
As far as did you go to school with Dennis Rodman at SOC, or was he above you or under you?
No, he's younger than I am.
Okay.
And so I never even saw Dennis because he was at Addison, I think. And
Okay.
then he transferred in.
Okay.
And I had already graduated, but then I went from SOC to Rice University, and Rice, for people who don't know, is in Houston, Texas.
Yes. Yes.
I had no idea where Rice was myself. But,
Who recruited you? Do you remember?
yeah, and I'm still in contact with Ray Auburn.
Okay.
It's a good story, and I can make it short if it.
No, go ahead. Mike's yours, brother.
It was in the summer we had, when you break for.
For school?
Yeah, but I mean for
Football?
summer, not summer, but when it snowed. It snowed. that
The
year.
winter break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I have a young sister, and her and I were playing in the backyard, playing in the snow. And we knew these two coaches was supposed to come, but we figured they probably ain't gonna come today, and
Because it was snowing.
right.
Okay.
And we was out in the backyard, and my mother came and said, "Come on in here, y'all," and it made me feel really good that they came, and Houston is usually about 4 hours,
Right.
and I'm sure they was like 6 or 8 hours,
Right in the snow.
yeah, with the
Yeah.
snow,
Yeah.
and so that was a good memory.
And so they came out. What did you grow up in Oak Cliff, or what part of?
Yeah, I grew up in Oak Cliff, and my mother is still in the house.
Your mother's still living.
Oh yeah,
That's great. How old is she?
she's I think 82.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great, man.
And
And your sister, she's still living here in Dallas?
She's in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my other sister, she's in Cedar Hill, and she teaches at DeSoto High School.
Oh, okay. That's great. That's great. So they come in and you sit down with them, and you're what? You 17 at the time, 18? How old are you?
17.
17, and you weigh about 110. You're about 6'9" or something.
That's pretty close, but
Because what's your height, Mike? What's your?
I'm 6'3", but I was 6'1" then and they measured me and everything. And when I graduated, I was 6'3".
Okay.
So
They offered you a athletic scholarship to Rice.
yeah,
And did they tell you the difference? Because I didn't know the difference between the University of Houston and the University or Rice University
Okay.
till you took me down there,
Okay.
and we were riding with Lockhart.
Right.
So when you went to Rice, did you know there was a difference between Rice University and the University of Houston?
Had no clue because I didn't know University of Houston.
Yeah.
Or Texas Southern.
Right.
You know, I didn't know all those schools, and the only school I had heard of was Prairie View,
Okay.
and that was about 45 miles from Houston.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but
so
so-
you go on campus and what?
Man, I wanted to sign as soon as I got pulling up.
To Rice?
Yeah, because they had this ivory and the trees and grass was great, man, and it was just beautiful
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
and so I thought I could really do this, and after that, the coaches. I mean, they was so nice to me as well,
Yeah.
and you know, joking with you, and
Yeah.
hey, buddy,
Right.
And so,
And y'all had y'all's own stadium back then, Rice Stadium,
yeah,
didn't y'all?
yeah, we did.
Yeah. And also, y'all were in the Southwest Conference at that time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all were always at the bottom, but y'all were there.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they told me that, I probably wouldn't have went to Rice. But
Well, SMU, they were pretty good. When did you go to Rice? What year? Do you remember?
I went to Rice in '77.
Oh,
And then the horses came in SMU in '79, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Man, they were something else. So you go to Rice, and were there any other guys that played on your team to win into the league also, or was it just you?
oh yeah, Earl Cooper, he played in San Francisco.
He was
#1 draft pick too.
DB or fullback?
No, he was a halfback.
Halfback. Okay. I thought
yeah.
he was a fullback.
But he was 6'3", and he was real big.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
You go up against him in practice a lot?
Well, the first year a little bit because I was on the scout team.
Right. Right.
But then when you get off the scout team, you go on the scout team from the offense.
Right.
So that's what it did. And Darryl Grant, he was a defensive tackle. He was drafted by Washington Redskins, and he
I remember Dale Grant. He wore number 77, didn't he?
sure did.
And Cooper wore like 49 or something like that.
Damn sure, yeah.
Yeah,
you
boy,
right.
what are you talking about, dog? I know my NFL now.
Okay.
Come on.
But Grant, he was like one of them guys that will keep the locker room laughing and,
Right.
and going on and that kind of stuff. And so I really did like him, and it was fun to be around him those 4 years.
Right, right. And so then you're done with you're done with Rice, and do the Cowboys ask you to come for a tryout, or you just happen to come for a tryout, or how did that work out?
Well, the tryout is actually going to camp because at that time, I think the whole league had rookie camp, and that was 2 weeks of nothing but rookies.
Okay.
And if you make it through rookie camp, then you get a shot to make it into veterans shop and that was 4 weeks.
Wow.
And so we
But for one team or for the league? Well, like when they had the rookie camp, was that for the Cowboys only, or was that for the NFL?
oh no, it was for the NFL.
Okay, all right, I got
it
you.
was
So all the teams or all the scouts and the coaches are there checking out the talent.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
And something real funny about Everson, and I told this joke before, but it was the first day of practice. You know, we were supposed to go out and be on the field like maybe like 9 o'clock, and was going to practice for 2 hours.
Right.
And that's what we did in rookie camp. And that, I mean, and they was cutting people like left and right.
And it was full contact.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so Everson, you know, he got up. You know, they had defense on one side and all receivers on the other side.
Right.
And so Everson was on the defensive side, obviously. And I want to say this again. This was the first day of practice, the first morning
Right.
of practice. And Everson got up and he lined up across from the wide receiver, and he ran the receiver ran an out and up,
Right.
and Everson stopped when the receiver went out, and so Gene Stallings, you know, the guy that I love,
Right.
Gene Stallings cursed Everson out from top to bottom. Paco, he was like right here.
In his face.
Yeah. And he was and I'm looking over, and I ain't doing one-on-one because I play safety. you
Right,
know?
right.
So I'm cool. But I knew Everson was from Dallas. I didn't know him,
Right.
but I knew he was from Dallas. And I started feeling bad for him, and I'm telling you, I ain't never seen nobody cursed out so bad, and that was because he couldn't say nothing.
Right.
You know, 'cause how you gonna start cursing
A coach
right? You surely
gonna get cut. Yeah.
and so we went on and got dressed and had lunch and then we had meetings in the afternoon. And so all the young DBs, the rookie DBs,
Right.
we came up and started to, just how you just kind of start conversation. about it.
Right.
And so these guys was doing bets on Walls getting cut.
Oh man.
and
Walls didn't tell this story when he was on the show, man. He forgot to tell us this story.
yeah, but he was letting me tell it because
Oh, okay.
and this is very true. And Walls was always like a little bit late,
Yeah.
and so he wasn't there when these guys was like, 50-50, and whatever.
Right.
And he didn't hear it, and I don't think anybody else said it, throughout training camp. And,
Right.
And what I just said to it when I was at closing, I was just I'm sorry, but
No, so were you going to tell Walls about it sooner or later, or?
I told Walls we had some kind of what is it called, a fire or something anyway, but that's where I told him, basically, and he remembered it obviously, and what was good about it is that I was able to say, hey, all those guys were betting
Against you.
right, and he made it. And obviously, he just didn't make it, but
He made it big. Yeah.
He made it big.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, Walls. When he came on, I asked him. I said, "Walls, why did Lockhart always call you Wilson?" I never understood that. Remember, he would call him Wilson,
Yeah.
and then Lockhart would call you Frippet.
Yeah.
And I never understood why he called y'all that. But so you guys go to training camp or for the NFL, and then you and Walls just happen to be with the same agent that you would go get a tryout with the Cowboys, or did the Cowboys offer y'all a free agent contract then?
Yeah, you have to. The Cowboys had to offer you the contract
Okay.
before you go to camp.
Okay.
So we had I think my contract was for like 32,000.
You get a signing bonus?
I think it was 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Was that spent before you got it?
pretty much. So because I was married and
Oh, you were already married.
yeah, and my wife had an apartment, and so it wasn't real bad, but
Yeah.
I sent some money home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so after that camp, do y'all go straight to Thousand Oaks, or did y'all come
No,
to Dallas?
we was in Thousand Oaks
Oh,
already.
that was at
Yeah.
Thousand Oaks. Oh.
All this what I'm saying.
Oh,
was
wow. Okay.
in Thousand Oaks. Yeah.
Okay. And so I remember you made the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget. They took a picture of you and you had a star on your tooth.
Right.
Did you get that done at Thousand Oaks, or was that here in Dallas?
Oh no, it wasn't for the Cowboys. I just I chipped my tooth. And I think I was like 12 or 13 years old,
Okay.
and so my mother took me to the dentist, and I guess the dentist was asking me, what did I want, on my tooth, and I told him you can put on the star,
Oh, wow.
And-
Were you a Cowboy fan back then growing up?
I was a Cowboy fan, but that never even crossed my mind that was
Yeah, that's why you're getting a star. You're just getting it just because you like the star.
right, exactly, and that was the best thing that I could see, from my choices.
Right, right.
So,
Okay, so you get on the team, and man, back then, man, I mean, you went to training camp for 30 days back then.
yeah, we had 2 weeks of rookie camp, and then we had 4 weeks of
Regular training camp.
regular training camp.
Wow, and a lot of those were two-a-days.
Oh yeah. We had a schedule.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so you were gone, what, 6 weeks then? A month and a half?
6 weeks.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so you weren't even back home. So when you're in training camp, do you think you're going to make the team, or you're like, man, this shit ain't worth it, man. I think I'm going to go ahead and holler at Gene Stahl and tell him I'll catch him on the rebound, or what?
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I got depressed a few times, and matter of fact, just last weekend, my daughter was over to my house, and she wasn't born when all this was
Right,
happening.
Carolyn.
Yeah, Carolyn.
Yes, I remember Carol.
And but and I found a letter that I had in a book, and I didn't even know the letter was in the book, but I took it out, and then it was a letter that I had wrote like in 1981.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, my rookie year, and basically it was just I was writing it to my wife, and I wanted to to kind of brace her, because I was like, I'm about to get cut.
Yeah.
and that was pretty much
Wow.
what it was, and I am so glad I still have it.
Yeah.
Because
Shoot, yeah. That's man, to find something like that, man.
yeah.
Wow, it was something you wrote back then. So you make the team, or when you finally make the team, did they call you in? Did Tom call you in, or
Nobody.
how do you know you made the team then?
That our meetings you know that building on 75.
Yeah.
Where the
Playboy Club
Club-
used to
yeah,
be
Club-
there.
yeah.
Yeah. It's now the
That's-
Twin Towers, Twin
Right.
60s. Yeah.
that's where we used to meet. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's where we met, and like if you didn't get cut, then they don't come and tell you anything. But like if you get cut, they come and say, "Hey, Coach Landry need to
holler
talk
at
to
you."
you." Yeah.
Bring
Man.
that playbook while
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
the boss.
Exactly. That was exactly what it was.
Oh, so when you finally made the team, did you call Vanessa? Or you call your mom, or
No, we didn't have cell phones, man. You know.
I know, but you got where'd they put y'all at while y'all was here? Where were y'all staying? Y'all stay in a team hotel, or do you just go back home?
No, they kept us in the hotel.
So what hotel? The ones right at where the offices were?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So who'd you call first?
you know, I don't even remember that part. I don't think I called anybody that day because I still wasn't set on me making the team.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna wait. If don't nobody call me by the end of the day,
Yeah.
then I didn't make the team. And so I think that's what I did. That's what I kind of remember what I did. And
Do you remember that you were the first rookie to ever start on the defensive side of the ball?
no, I didn't know that. And
You were the first rookie to ever. I mean, other rookies came in and got positions
right.
throughout the Dallas Cowboy history, but you were the first one that they actually put you in a starting position as a rookie. You're going
Right.
to start. That's how. I'm not sure who was in front of you back then. Was it Charlie Waters, Cliff Harris? Who was?
No, Cliff Harris wasn't on the team. He had retired. Charlie Waters was on the team, but Charlie played strong safety, and I played free.
Okay.
And Charlie actually helped me a great deal.
Did he really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
I love Charlie.
Wow.
And I want everybody to know it.
He helped you out a lot.
Oh yeah, man. And I tell you another little short story. You know about me and Charlie.
Yeah.
We were doing some, walkthrough drills.
Right.
And so I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to call it out
Right.
because Charlie was supposed to call it out.
Right. Call
But
the signal.
the change.
Okay. Defensive
Was-
signal.
Yeah. And
What do you remember what it was?
it was something like twins or because, it was a wide receiver going over to another wide receiver.
Uh-huh.
And Charlie was supposed to call it.
Right.
But I just blurted it out.
Right.
And it was just a drill. And so it wasn't nothing big.
Right.
But Charlie just came over and said, Mike, that's what my kind of responsibility. And,
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny, but it was like, oh,
Yeah. You didn't know any better.
No, and I think that helped me make the team, though.
Right. Wow. And so Coach Stallings was always your coach throughout your
No.
secondary year.
Dick Nolan.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dick Nolan. I remember that.
Hmm.
But when you went to the Cardinals, Stallings
So-
took you with you, didn't he?
No, he brought me in, and that's how I got there. And Dennis Thurman was the secondary coach, and Gene Stallings was
At Arizona?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Dennis was already there.
Yeah.
Really? And because I know Garth Jacks went over there too.
Yeah, sure did.
And then there was another
Burton.
Ron Burton, our
Yeah.
linebacker we
There
had.
you
He
go.
went over there too. Yes. So there were 3 on the team over there.
Yeah. Mhm.
Wow. And so let's get back to your Cowboy playing year. So you're on the team. Tell me What was it like playing with Ed Too Tall? Because I know you told me, Ed wouldn't talk to anyone. It took a while. How many years did you play before Ed talked to you, or how did he make you feel?
It didn't bother me because I didn't talk much either, and so we were just like two guys, and
you just show up for work and wouldn't say nothing to each other.
Right.
Not even in the huddle.
Exactly. I remember one time, and we were losing a game, and Ed kind of lost it, and he yelled out, "Come on, Bill."
Yeah.
and that's the one time that I remember
Him
Ed
saying something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me that once. I don't remember which player it was, but you said the guy was on the team, and it took 2 years before Ed ever even responded to him to say something to him. And the guy thought that Ed didn't like him, and then you said, "No, that's just Ed.
Yeah.
That's just him, huh?"
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who was the craziest one on the team when you?
When I first got
when
there.
You first got there, yeah.
Oh no, that's a little bit harder now.
There had to be somebody you get in the huddle and you say, "Man, this dude here is just crazy, man. I don't know."
The name that is coming up in my mind is I think it's Anthony
Dickerson from SMU.
Yeah, from
linebacker.
Okay, yeah. And he's born on June 9th.
That's right. Me, you, Dickerson, Bucky, the equipment guy with the Cowboys right now.
Okay.
He was June 9th, and then I don't know if it was Marilyn or who, one of the ladies up front in the coach's office.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hers. We're all June 9th.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's how we started talking. So
right.
So we're going to go back to, so I'm working at Athletic Supply, and I've told this story before, but real quick, we actually supplied the Cowboys with anything and everything they needed, whether it was jerseys, caps, shoes, whatever. I mean, there was no go to Nike and buy the shoes. They ordered everything through us. This is before Jerry came along. And so I'm working at Athletic Supply, and one day, of course, it was my birthday, and Mike Downs comes in. Mike Downs was the captain of the Dallas Cowboy Hoopsters, right?
Hoopsters.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboy Hoopsters. And so he comes in, and I think you bought a couple autographed footballs. Remember the old Dallas Cowboy autographed footballs?
Yeah.
They were all white, and they just had like a little cowboy stamp on it, the helmet. And so I'm sitting there working. You're like, "Hey, man, what's up?" And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you're like, "What's wrong with you? You look a little down." And I said, "Man, my birthday, I was kind of hoping I'd be at home." And you're like, "It's your birthday for real?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Man, it's my birthday too. Let's go celebrate." And I said, "What?" And, back then I was a Cowboy fan.
Right.
And you were like, "Yeah, let's go." And I said, "Are you serious?" I mean, I'm a kid. I used to go to the Cowboy games for 50 cents at the Cotton Bowl, man. I loved the Cowboys back then. And anyway, so you said, "Let's go." And so I asked the manager. They said, "Man, take 2 hours. You and Mike go hang out." And I was, man, I remember I think you had just bought that navy blue 500 SEL.
Okay.
That Mercedes-Benz.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that thing, I mean, and you know how I chased you for that car for years, man, for years.
Right.
But you took me out to eat, and we start talking, and you start coming in and buying more footballs. And one day you were like, "Hey, man, how'd you like a little side job?" And I said, "Side job? Doing what?" You're like, "Working with the Cowboys, the fellas. We just need somebody to take care of us, watch our backs, travel."
Right.
And I was like, "Really?" And you said, "Yeah, we'll pay you." I said, No, you don't have to pay me. I'll do it for free, because I didn't want you to have a reason to fire me.
Right.
Like, man, we're paying this guy too much money.
Right.
So I was like, no, I'll do it for free, man. I don't want you to pay me. You're like, no, we're going to pay you, man. You can make some good extra money. And lo and behold, man, you started, you'd say during the off season, you come up and you say, "Man, we got a busy schedule, and we're going to be traveling, and you gonna be able to get off of work? And I went and checked with the work, and they were cool about it. I appreciate that about Athletic Supply.
Yeah.
And we traveled in vans, if you remember.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I used to drive the vans, and then we had two different vans. We had like the van that had their heads on straight, and then you had the partying van that looked like Cheech and Chong's van, you know. And boy, I hated driving that van, but I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
But man, I ended up being pretty close to you guys, man, and
Yeah.
you know.
And you know, one thing that sticks in my mind is that with all that, you know, we were doing crazy stuff, and nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
You know, nobody got arrested or anything, and so we were very lucky.
Yeah, we were very lucky. Well, you know, back then, I don't think anybody was as crazy as you know in the '90s. You know, but then again, we were winning Super Bowls in the '90s, man. So you kind of think you're invincible, you know, in the '90s.
Right.
But we took a lot of trips.
Uh-huh.
We took a lot of trips, and I tell you, man, I tell some of my friends the stories on the trips we took, and they're like, man, why don't you write a book? And I'm like, nah, I don't know, but boy, if some of those stories were to come out now, I don't know, we might be arrested for some of that stuff we did.
But I tell you, I think it is stuff that people would read.
Yeah.
And, you know, and like a former player like myself,
Right.
I would read it, you know, because, you know, I would want to see what the guys in the 90s did or the guys in the 60s did.
Right. Yeah, but heck, we took a lot of trips. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna start off on the next segment with one of the trips that we took to Lubbock. Okay. So we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about that and some of the places that we used to hang out at. But we're gonna go to a commercial and be back in about 2 minutes.
This is Jesse A. Montoya, raised on the streets of West Dallas. Started boxing in the late 1950s, making a promise to his mother that he would move her out of the poverty-stricken area. As a kid, Jesse would be one of the first in the state of Texas to compete against other African-American kids during the lift of segregation and the beginning of the civil rights movement. 60 years have passed and Jesse continues to be a part of the sport. His passion for boxing has allowed him to serve as a trainer, a coach, a mentor, and a community leader, working with both amateur and professional fighters. Jesse has literally mentored generations of young fighters since the 1970s. He is recognized as one of the first Hispanic coaches in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, while pioneering the first inner-city amateur boxing program that has awarded him and the boxing gym that carries his namesake with numerous team trophies. Throughout the years, Jesse and his staff, that includes his sons Anthony and Michael, have trained many successful boxers, a program acknowledged by USA Boxing. This is Jesse A. Montoya of Montoya Boxing, a pillar of amateur boxing in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Welcome back. Oh man, I'm sorry about that. You know, this is supposed to be on off. I'm really sorry about that,
You
guys.
told me to turn mine off.
Yeah, I know. Well, when you called me, I turned it back on. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, let's get back to our show. And one of our sponsors that we've got coming on is Rudolph's Market. MD, I don't know if you've ever been out to Deep Ellum. That's in downtown Dallas. That same store is still there.
Really?
Yeah, you walk in there and it's just like being in the Rocky Show. They got sides of beef, sides of cattle, just hanging out, hanging there in the freezer.
Where's it located?
Right, it's right on Main Street, I believe. or is it Elm? Is it Elm? I think it's Elm Street. I mean, they've got, yeah, right there on Elm Street. And I mean, it's run by Andreessen family. Richard Andreessen's a real good friend of ours. He's going to become a sponsor of the show. And as a matter of fact, if you ever go by there, like for Thanksgiving or Christmas, he'll hook you up with some meat. Yeah, he's a really good guy, man. He's a really, really good guy. But yeah, definitely, you guys, we will be putting on a show there soon, one of our shows, and we're gonna give away some turkeys. We're gonna give away some meat. We're gonna give away other cowboy merchandise.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and then speaking of cowboy merchandise, we've got a helmet there. Everyone can see he's got a collage on it, cowboy collage. For those of you that are looking for Christmas gifts for your husband or your lover, whichever one comes first, you know, that's something that you may want to surprise them with. We've got others that are coming along. We're going to have a Dak Prescott helmet. We're going to have a Ezekiel Elliott helmet. And I mean, that's really nice here. I mean, I know you were looking at it earlier, Mike.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have any MD on there, but it's got Tom Landry on there, Baldinger. You see Baldy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those will definitely be going on sale probably within the next week. By the next show, we'll have them ready to go. So we've got our Christmas gifts. We're already putting them up here, trying to entice you guys to buy something for your boyfriends or husbands or whatever it may be, you know, or your lovers. But let's get back to our let's definitely get back to our story that we had when
You said Lubbock.
in Lubbock. Yeah, when we went to Lubbock. Do you remember what was told to us before we boarded that plane?
No, I don't, and I don't know if I was on that trip or not, but
Well, that's the safe thing for you to say. I mean, you're starting off the right way, MD. But when we were invited to Lubbock, we were told by the promoter. He said, "We're going to bring you guys to Lubbock, and it's going to be the Dallas Cowboy basketball team." And I think we had like 10 to 12 players, and myself. I made 13.
yeah,
And the others are going to be nothing but women. And we told this guy, "No, that's not happening." And he said, "Yes, it is." And nobody believed him. And we got up to Lubbock, and we got off that plane, and we thought this guy was full of BS. I can't remember the promoter's name. And there was 3 limos out there. And we got in the limos, and man, I'm going to say I lost track of what happened after that. But boy, from the ride, from the limo to the hotel, checking in was an experience. And then matter of fact, it was either you or Lockhart came to me and said, "It's a running clock, no stop. We're signing autographs right now. You get all the autographs you want right now because there ain't no signing autographs afterwards, and there's no halftime. We're running clock."
right.
And when we got through, we went to a party that it's a party that you would see on TV and say,
Right, a lot of dancing, but I didn't see.
"Yeah, but on TV those dancers have clothes on."
Right.
So, but it was pretty wild.
Right. But the only thing that I remember differently is that the girls didn't play basketball.
No, they didn't.
I thought that's what you were saying.
No, they did not play basketball.
Okay.
He just told us that we would be the only male species.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah, and I mean, it was that was just, man, that stuff you see on TV and TV only. I mean, it was just unbelievable, and I'm sorry to say that I thought somebody was going to go to jail, man. I mean, the things that happened there,
Right.
it was just unbelievable. I mean, we'd go to clubs and take over the clubs, and I'll never forget, Mike Downs. I tell you this, and you don't ever believe me, but I know what I saw, and I know there's other players. You remember when John Travolta ran across
John Travolta
in Saturday Night Fever? when he ran across the dance floor and he slid on his knees.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that part?
Uh-uh.
That's exactly what you did at the club. And man, everybody just stood up, started giving you a standing ovation because you ran across the floor and you just slid all the way across on your knees. And then you jumped up, started doing some type of dance, boy. And boy, that was so funny, man. I'll never forget that, boy.
Wow.
Baldinger was there.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Baldinger used to take those trips with us. Yeah.
Yeah, he took a few trips.
Steve Folsom.
Yeah.
Remember Steve Folsom?
Mm-hmm.
Tight end. Yeah. Who else? Cos.
Yeah.
Doug Cosby. Have you seen Cosby?
I haven't, and I think he was from California.
Yes, he was.
And
yes.
so he went back.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
California.
Okay. I think he's coaching.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about man? What about Baldy? Man, Baldinger went from being a cowboy to being an eagle, and then he turned into a real live Rocky,
Yeah.
where he was collecting.
Yeah.
Remember? And we're like, what are you doing nowadays? He says, oh, I'm a collector. Well, what does that mean? Well, I just break people's arms or fingers if they don't pay what they owe. I said, okay, I guess that's a pretty good living.
Right.
And then he's on NFL Network.
Yeah.
Man, how does that happen?
I don't know, but he does well, and every time that I see him, I kind of feel proud of him.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh, yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And he had two brothers that played in the league at the same time he was playing, remember?
no, I didn't.
Yeah, one played for the
realize that.
Bills and one played for the Chiefs. All three brothers played in the NFL at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Baldy, yes. And what about your boy, the Dream,
Who was that?
Reggie Collier?
Oh,
Oh, Lord. Do we have some stories about him? That guy was something else.
it was. I don't know how to explain it, but it was some good stuff or some bad stuff, but just putting it all together
Yeah.
was what I have a hard time with, because he never would like sit down and or do something for 30 minutes. He going over here, and that's how I remember Reggie.
Yeah.
Just always on the go.
Yes, always on the go. Do you remember the race we had with Reggie Collier? We were going. This is back when we had to go in our own cars. Reggie bought a new Benz. I think it was a 500 SEL, silver.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Lockhart had just bought the new BMW 750 IL.
Okay.
Okay, it was Lockhart in the front seat. It was you in the passenger seat. It was Tui, myself, and then Gogs.
Okay.
And we raced down this freeway for, God, it had to have been 10 miles, man. I swear I thought those cars were going to blow up. Because, I mean, you could see them needles were just sitting at the bottom, man. They had to have been going 160, 180.
Right.
And that's how crazy we were back then.
Yeah.
And we thought it was funny.
But all of us wasn't crazy at this time. It's just that, like when Lockhart gets going and he wants to drive, nobody stops him from driving.
Right.
And so we just at his
Mercy. Yeah.
And so that's just how it went.
Yeah.
I guess we were having too much fun.
Yes.
To say, hey man,
Slow down or no, that's not a good idea.
Exactly. So,
But we did try to stop him when he got that $10,000 stereo system in that Mercedes. Remember he had that green Mercedes, the big 500 SEL?
right.
And we had been out all night. Me and you go drop him off at home. And we said, Lockhart, you need to go to bed. And he's like, oh no, we're going to go out and celebrate. And we're like, no, Lockhart, you need to go to sleep, man. Go to sleep.
Right.
Simon says, go to sleep. And he said, no, we're going out. Come on, Paco, you going with me? I said, I got to drive you. I wanted to make an excuse because I didn't want to go with Lockhart. He was crazy,
Exactly.
And so I said, I got to give Mike a ride home. So we leave. And I don't remember if you called me early the next morning or if I called you early the next morning. Lockhart smashed his car over on Greenville Avenue, right
Yeah.
into a cement.
I remember that.
Yeah, remember that? That night, and we told him go to bed.
Right.
But man, he was funny though.
He was.
He was very funny.
It was no limits, to what he would do.
Yeah.
Because he's big and he can drink a lot or eat a lot or whatever.
Yeah.
And talking about going to sleep or anything, that ain't even his.
He's not even thinking about that.
No.
Yeah.
No, never. And that was what was so crazy about that whole deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I don't know what in the 90s what kind of guys were, but in the 80s, Lockhart was the only guy that I ever saw that could just do anything that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And not just fall out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at some point in time, somebody's gonna get drunk and just fall out.
Yes.
And he never did.
Right.
He never did.
Right. Wow. What about going back to when you played with the Cowboys? Do you remember your first shoe contract?
Yeah, I remember, if you can call it a contract. The guy promised me, I think, about $300.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it. And you were wearing Puma?
Yeah. Mhm.
You wore Pro Keds for a while. Remember the Keds?
Yeah.
I remember you used to play in those Pro Keds.
And Nike back then was on the market, but they were struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
their shoes were pretty. I thought they were too cheap looking, or they weren't very comfortable. They had like those waffle bottoms on them. I remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was glad to, for the guy to give me $300 to wear some shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot, I've worn them every Sunday. See, it's so different, and I watch the games now, and I heard an announcer say, he just signed a contract for $5 million. Well, how in the hell you?
Yeah. Where was that when you were
Right.
playing?
Yeah.
Even $500 as far as that goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, they made what's his name take his shoes off at halftime.
Sure did.
Yeah,
I saw
Beckham
that.
and who's their other receiver? Landry.
Landry,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Man, back then, and plus back then, you guys could wear whatever you want on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You wanted to.
But no, it wasn't really anything. Because it had to be the color.
Dallas Cowboy colors.
You're right. And so, like with the socks,
Right.
you would have to show those stripes,
Right.
which they done away with the stripes, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Because it's
solid color.
all blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had to show those blue stripes and the blue below that.
Yeah. Well, Tony Hill, I think, is I don't know what you want to call him. He actually is on the sidelines and he writes up players that are out of uniform.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He said that he wanted to do that when right after he retired from football.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said he could,
Well,
make some good money.
That's what he does. That's what he does. I've seen him. I don't know if he's still doing it, but yeah, I remember he was doing that for a long time. I would see him on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But man, talk about good old times. The practices they have today, you're in pads once a week. You go to training camp, I think you're only in pads maybe 2-3 times a week, and that's only for one practice.
Yeah. In training camp, that's different. And once the season started,
Right.
then we did, wear shorts, or some of the time we just have no shoulder pads.
Oh, okay.
But it still was more difficult back then than it is now.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, back then, during the season, did Coach Landry kind of lay off all the hitting? Because I know back in the
Yeah.
'90s, I mean,
yeah, we didn't.
Jimmy had them full pads, brother.
Right.
Especially if they lost.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. And Walls sat here and told us a story about when Jimmy when everybody went to Walls and said, "Hey man, can you talk to Jimmy? Everybody's
Put balls in that
yeah,
phone."
everybody's complaining that we're beating the hell out of each other." And so Walls, he said, "I was one of the captains, so I, like an idiot." Walls says, "I go up there and I tell Jimmy, and Jimmy says, okay, we'll try it your way this week." They got blown out that weekend, boy. Boy, Walls said the first thing Jimmy did when he got out after the game, he went and called Walls out.
Yeah.
And we will not be practicing any different than we've been practicing all year long.
Right.
So we will be back in pads. And he looked right at Everson Walls.
Yeah, but Coach Landry didn't have it like that. I mean, he did understand that the guys get tired and injured and all that. So he was good about during the season. He was good about
Cutting back.
Yeah, cutting back. Now in training camp, that was a whole different story now. And he believed that training camp was for you to get in shape and learn everything you need to learn and all that.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, when we were in Thousand Oaks, there was a mountain behind. I wouldn't say a mountain, but let's say a hill.
Right.
And they said some of the older guys would say that we had to run that hill, when
Coach Landry get upset or what?
oh no, that was just part of trying to get in shape. That's
Oh,
all.
really?
Yeah, but I don't know if somebody said something to Landry or what.
Yeah.
But and it was probably about a mile that up and
And
down.
around? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and we were the younger guys were really appreciative about not having to run that mile.
Right.
We thought we was in good enough shape anyway. So.
Right. And what about you were at Thousand Oaks the whole time, or did y'all ever go to? Did y'all move to a different part of California?
No, we were always there.
In Thousand Oaks.
Yeah, and the only thing that was different was that I think we went to Oakland to
Scrimmage.
to scrimmage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always turned into a fist fight.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but guys just, they tired and.
Well, hell, you've been beating up on your teammate for the past
Right.
3 weeks, and you want to beat up on somebody else now.
Well, yeah, but still, I'd say I can get me a little rest. if I go over here and put one knee down and
Yeah.
just chill out,
Yeah.
that was.
So tell me your best fight you ever saw on the team. Whether it was with a teammate or the other side.
Yeah, I honestly I can't remember.
What about when Mortician fought Crawford Kerr?
I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah, you're the one that told me about it.
Really?
Yeah, he said that Crawford come and he bust somebody in the mouth, one of the DBs, and it was, I think it was a rookie guy, and y'all were like, hey, you need to chill out, and Crawford Kerr said something like, what are you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do nothing about it. And so then the next play he goes up and he tries to jack up Mortician. Mortician told him, Vince Albritton told him,
Right.
don't bring that over here. I don't play that. You can
Right.
talk, the rookies, you can do what you want with them, but you're not going to do that to me. And you said that third play, man, Crawford Creed come up, hit Mortician. Mortician picked him up, because Morticia was strong.
Right.
He was strong as an ox. Yeah. He body slammed him, jumped on top of him, and just put some of that Compton on him. Just started going to town on him.
Well, I tell you, I don't remember, but if I had to bet on one, it'd be Vince. Because Crawford Kerr,
Vincent was a silent killer.
Oh,
He
yeah.
didn't say nothing
Yeah.
unless you pissed him off.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We were, I know you don't know about this because we were in New York or somewhere for a visiting game. Mm-hmm. And so Vince, when he first got there on his rookie year, he didn't have that much to wear, the suits.
Oh, clothes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is one game in New York or somewhere on the East Coast.
Right.
And we broke her off, and all of it was just defensive backs.
Right.
And I can't remember who started hoorahing him, and Vince, he didn't smile or nothing. Vince said, "I bet you can't none of y'all beat me," and it went quiet.
He's talking about fighting?
Yeah, he talking about fighting.
So you can make fun of my clothes, but I bet you
Right.
not one of y'all can whoop my ass.
Right. And I think Dennis Thurman was still there. And, yeah, and man, it just went silent. And nobody talked about his clothes the rest
Anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, Albritton, man. He was something else, man. Yeah. And Dennis, I remember we did a hoopster trip one time, and it was against the Cardinals. We went to St. Louis, and we were in St. Louis, and we were playing the Cardinals. And I remember Dennis Thurman trying to hit on Leonard Smith's girlfriend. She was in the stands. Remember Leonard Smith, the safety for the Cardinals? I think he wore 37 or 47, something like that. And I went and told you, I said, MD, I said, man, Thurman's over there trying to hit on Leonard Smith's girl, and Leonard Smith's like watching him as he's shooting free throws. He's watching Dennis. Dennis steadily over there, and finally, Leonard Smith got pissed off and he threw the basketball, and so he walks over there and he pushed Dennis Thurman, and Thurman pushed him. Next thing you know, both teams come together and they're grabbing and cussing each other out. And I'm sitting there telling you, I told you, Mike, I told you. He said, don't worry about it, Paco. We got this. We got this. If we don't win the basketball game, we're going to win this fight. Boy, those were good old times, man.
It really was.
Good old times. But, man, Mike, we got about 3 minutes, man. So tell me something good about Rice. Well, tell us a story about when we were in Houston, me, you, and Lockhart, and you said, Paco, I'm going to take you by my school, and then I'm going to take you by Lockhart School. And I want you to tell me, can you see the difference?
Right. Well, that might get me a little bit in trouble, but Rice University is one of the most beautiful
Universities, campuses.
I've seen. Like I said earlier, they had the ivory, they had the trees, and everything was cut clean and
well manicured.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then you go over to the University of Houston,
right?
And Texas Southern is over there as well,
right?
And it just looks like
night and day.
Night and day.
One has grass, the other has dirt.
Right. Exactly.
One has nice cars, and the other one has clunkers hanging out. I mean, just totally different. And I remember Lockhart got pissed off at you,
but the truth is the truth.
Yeah, the truth is the truth. That's right. Yeah. And then he said something to you about I don't know. He was questioning Rice's sexuality, or the guys that went there, or something like that. And then you said something like, "Okay, well, you go ahead on with your 5 year, 6 years starting at University of Houston." and me and you fell out laughing, and he didn't get it. So finally he got it, being there 6 years. He got so mad. Yeah, I think he hit me, because he used to always take it out on me when
Right,
he get
exactly.
mad. He didn't want me to laugh. It was okay for you to laugh, but
Right.
not me. But anyways, man, we're about all out of time. MD, I appreciate you coming out, man. I'll
Right.
never forget you, man. You started me, and I'll always remember that. And I appreciate you coming out. And if we can get the rest of the crew, the secondary crew together, we're gonna have you out again, man.
I tell you, that would be a great show.
Yes, I agree.
And especially if you get Dennis, because Dennis remembers everything.
Okay. Okay.
And
That's what we'll try and do. Guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Michael Downs, thank you
All
for
right.
everything, man. And we will see you guys next week.